It's a Tuesday. You check your bank account before you get out of bed. Not because you're disciplined, because you're afraid. The number is lower than you thought. It's always lower than you thought. You close the app. You open it again 30 seconds later, like the number might have changed. It hasn't changed. It never changes from looking at it. Nobody teaches you what to do with that feeling. They teach you long division. They teach you the water cycle. They hand you a diploma and a handshake and send you into a system that was running long before you arrived. This is what money actually looks like at every level of financial understanding. Not net worth statements, not portfolio charts. What it feels like to live inside a mind at every level of financial intelligence. Where it takes you, what it takes from you, and why the people at the top are not always the ones who win. Level 1. Financial IQ 0 to 20. The survival loop. You are not irresponsible. That's the first thing to understand. The story the financial world tells about people at this level is that they are bad with money, undisciplined, short-sighted. The actual story is different. You grew up in a house where money was an emergency, not a tool. Every conversation about it was either an argument or a silence. You learned that money disappears. You learned it before you learned to read. So when money arrives now, your nervous system does the only thing it was trained to do. It spends, not from weakness, from a deep biological logic. Scarcity teaches the body to consume now, because later has never been reliable. The hidden intelligence at this level is street-level risk assessment. You know exactly which bills can be delayed and which cannot. You negotiate with landlords, with creditors, with the machinery of survival in ways no business school curriculum ever covers. You are running a financial operation with zero margin for error, and you are still here. The cost at this level is not the money, it's the energy. The mental load of permanent financial emergency is medically documented. It lowers cognitive capacity the same way sleep deprivation does. You are not failing because you are not smart enough. You are operating a complex system while exhausted, in the dark, with no map. Most people in comfortable houses have no idea. Level 2, financial IQ 20 to 40. The paycheck prisoner, you have income. This feels like progress. It is progress. It is also its own trap. The paycheck arrives. The bills are paid. There is a small remainder. The remainder does not feel small enough to invest and does not feel large enough to matter, so it dissolves. Groceries, a dinner out, a subscription you forgot you had. Then the cycle resets. The financial world has a name for this. Living paycheck to paycheck. What the financial world does not say is that this describes 60% of the working population in the wealthiest country in human history. This is not a personal failure at scale. This is a structural design. You are not behind the curve. You are the curve. The quiet strength at this level is reliability. You show up. Every day, you trade time for money with a precision and consistency that the asset-owning class depends on entirely but acknowledges almost never. The cost is the trade itself. Time is the only non-renewable resource in the human portfolio. You spend the best hours of the best years of your life building someone else's net worth. That transaction happens so gradually, so normally, that it never feels like a choice. It was always just what you did. Level 3, financial IQ 40 to 60. The debt educated. Something shifted. You read something. Watched something. Someone said the word compound interest in a way that finally landed. You understand now that debt is not just a number. It is a claim on your future self. You look at your credit card statement with new eyes. The minimum payment line makes you sick in a way it didn't before. Knowledge arrived. Peace did not arrive with it. This is the cruelest level. You now understand enough to feel the weight of every past decision, but not yet enough to move quickly out from under them. You are paying the tuition on lessons you didn't know you were taking. The hidden strength here is momentum. People who reach this level and keep going are statistically more likely to build real wealth than people who inherited comfort without ever having to think. You have something the comfortable never developed. Urgency. Real urgency, not manufactured motivation from a podcast. The kind that comes from having actually felt what it costs to not know. The cost is the gap between understanding and escape velocity. You can see the destination. The distance does not shrink as fast as the book suggested it would. Level 4. Financial IQ 60 to 75. The comfortable illusion. This is where the system starts rewarding you. The debt is managed. There is a retirement account. The number in it is small, but it is growing. You have insurance. You have a plan. The plan exists inside a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet makes you feel like the future is under control. This is the most seductive trap on the entire spectrum. Control is not the same as security. The spreadsheet does not account for the medical emergency, does not account for the layoff, does not account for the decade of inflation that erodes the purchasing power of the number you spent years building. You are optimizing inside a system without ever asking who designed the system or whether it was designed for you. You become a reliable participant in an economy that extracts a percentage of everything you earn, everything you spend, everything you save, and everything you leave behind. Not through conspiracy, through architecture. The architecture is very old and very well maintained. The cost here is the restlessness you cannot name. You have done everything right. The finish line keeps moving. You book a vacation. You return. The spreadsheet is still there waiting. The feeling is still there waiting. Most people decide the feeling is ingratitude and silence it. The feeling is not ingratitude. It is accurate perception. Level 5. Financial IQ 75 to 85. The Awakened Optimizer. Something cracked open. Maybe it was a book that explained how the monetary system actually works. Maybe it was watching a business you respected collapse overnight for reasons that had nothing to do with the quality of the work. You started asking different questions. Not how do I save more, but how does capital actually move? Not how do I get a raise, but who controls the price of the hour I am selling? The pattern recognition that activates at this level is uncomfortable and addictive in equal measure. You start seeing the tax code not as a set of rules, but as a map of who the rules were written for. You start understanding that the wealthy do not primarily earn money. They own things that earn money while they sleep. The gap between those two sentences is the entire game. The cost at this level is the social friction. You sit at dinner with people you love, and you cannot say what you actually think about the mortgage they are celebrating, the pension they are trusting, the career ladder they are climbing with complete faith. You have become, without intending to, someone who sees the mechanics behind the stage. The performance does not land the same way anymore. You develop a performance of normalcy. You smile at the right moments. Inside, you are somewhere else entirely. Level 6. Financial IQ 85 to 95. The Builder. You stop trading time for money as the primary transaction. This is not a small shift. This is the line. On one side, every hour sold has a ceiling. On the other side, systems run while you are not watching. You built something. A business, a portfolio, a collection of income streams that do not require your continuous presence to function. The building was not clean. It was years of wrong directions and revised assumptions and quiet months where the thing you were building looked more like evidence against you than proof of anything. What you developed in those months was the only thing that actually matters at this level, the ability to remain in motion through extended uncertainty without external validation. That skill cannot be taught in a classroom. It can only be earned. The cost at this level is the distance. You have moved far enough from your starting point that the translation is difficult. The people you grew up with are still operating inside a logic that made complete sense at the time and makes less sense to you now. That is not superiority. That is just the strange geography of the journey. You carry it quietly because the alternative sounds like exactly the kind of thing someone who forgot where they came from would say. Level 7. Financial IQ 95 and above. The Architect. Almost nobody talks about what actually happens here. The money stopped being the point sometime in the second decade. This surprises people who haven't arrived. From the outside, people at this level appear to be optimizing for accumulation. From the inside, they are solving for something that has no financial category, legacy, meaning the specific problem that will not leave them alone. Capital is now a tool the same way a hammer is a tool. You do not think about the hammer. You think about what you are building. The loneliness at this level is real and almost never discussed because the complaint sounds obscene. You cannot say I have more than I will ever need, and I have never felt more uncertain about what I am doing here. Both things are true. The documented reality at the highest levels of financial achievement is that the correlation between net worth and life satisfaction breaks down sharply. Not because wealth creates misery, because wealth removes the distractions that kept the real questions quiet. The person at level 1 checks their balance every morning from fear. The person at level 7 checks something else entirely. A different kind of account, one that has no app, no balance notification, no benchmark. And the question they are asking at 2 a.m. is not how much. It is whether the thing they built with the one life they had was worth what they paid for it.